still here. Not in the way you spent me, not in the way the movies show, not in the walls or in the mirrors. We're hiding under beds. We're in the words, the ones when that descent, the ones that got stuck between our hearts and our mouths and never made it out. Those words didn't die with us. They were loud, louder than we ever were. And all they need is someone diciendo. So let them. Every second without la recover before the silence becomes permanent. I died on a Thursday, corazón, my heart just stopped in the middle of a sentence, reaching for the coffee pot. My son was 32, I hadn't called him back that week. He left a voicemail Tuesday, hey dad, just calling when you're free. I was always gonna call him back, mañana, tomorrow, but mañana doesn't exist when your chest fills with sorrow that has no warning and no schedule and no mercy for the plans you made to finally say the things you held inside your hands. Hijo, son, I need you to hear something, algo que debí decir cada día de tu vida, something I should have said every day of your life. I was proud of you, not the proud you see in movies, not a speech at graduation, not a toast at your wedding, though I cried at both occasions. I mean the daily proud, the Tuesday proud, the kind that sits in a father's chest so full it doesn't fit through lips. I was proud when you burned the toast at 10 and still ate it, proud when you failed math and studied hard and didn't quit, proud when you got the job I didn't understand but bragged about at the barbershop like I knew what software engineer was all about. I told everyone except you. The barber knew, my co-worker knew, the cashier at the grocery store heard about your promotion before you heard me say I'm proud. Like us fathers from my generation, we didn't say it, we showed it in overtime and fixed faucets and driving 3 hours to watch a game and sitting in the back, but showing isn't saying, and you deserve to hear it. So here it is, the thing I owed you for 32 years. Te estoy observando, hijo, I'm watching you, son. Y estoy orgulloso de cada cosa que haces, and I'm proud of every single thing you do, even the toast, especially the toast. Lo que nunca dije, the words I never spoke, are louder than the silence that I left when my heart broke. Lo que nunca dije, what I never said out loud, is everything I'm screaming from the other side of this cloud. No, I know it's Spanish, tell them today, because the dead have a million things to say, and the living have a million chances left. Lo que nunca dije, don't leave your love bereft of the words it deserves. Say it now, don't wait before mañana becomes too late. I lived 81 beautiful years, no complaints, mi amor. I held my babies, held their babies, watched the sun from every door of every home I ever made, and I made them into homes, not with furniture, with food, empanadas built on bones, the recipes my mother gave me with her hands, not paper hands. She said, feel the dough when it feels like your grandmother's skin it lands, and I felt it every morning for 60 years. I felt the dough and the memory and the love begin to meld together, and my granddaughter, she watched me every Sunday, sitting on the counter swinging her little legs. Abuelita, how much salt? And I'd say, I see mija like this, a little more, a little less. She'd say, but how much? And I'd say, your hands will know, just press. I never wrote it down. 60 years of cooking, and I never wrote a single recipe, because my mother taught me by hand, and I thought I'd teach my granddaughter the same. But I ran out of Sundays, and now she stands in my kitchen with flour on the counter and tears on her face, trying to remember if it was a pinch or a dash or a sprinkle.
Mija, my sweet girl. Mija, my sweet girl.
we're still here. Not in the way you think, not in the way the movies show. We're not in the walls or in the mirrors or hiding under beds. Or in the words, the ones we never said, the ones that got stuck between our hearts and our mouths and never made it out. We're still here,
not in the way you think, not in the way you think you.
We're still here,
not in the way you think.
We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Not in the way you think, not in the way the movies show. We're not in the walls or in the mirrors or hiding under beds. We're still here. We're still here. Not in the way. I'm not in the way. Yeah, we're still here. Not in the way you think, not in the way the movies show. We're not in the walls or in the mirrors or hiding under beds. We're still here. We're still here. Not in the way. Yeah. We're still here. Still here. Not in the way you think. Not in the way you think. Not in the way the movies show. We're still here. Not in the way you think. Not in the way you think. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here now. We're still here.